This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And this video is sponsored by Maurice Andrews Solicitors, Birmingham. Get in touch today for the best legal representation. I really appreciate you joining me today, and this is a roundup of news from Birmingham and the West Midlands and some of the stories and scenes that I've attended this month. The first story is about the murder and charges that have followed of Shara Miller, who was 41 years old. She was murdered in Smethwick on the border of Handsworth, found in the industrial estate on Woodburn Road at 6 a.m. in the morning on the 10th of August. The police very quickly established that she was a sex worker and operated on Soho Road. She had reportedly been seen just before 1 a.m. and then she disappeared. The police then believed that she was taken to Woodburn Road in a vehicle and something occurred that led to her death. They also established shortly after that she was killed by strangulation. A murder investigation was launched and her family were being supported by specially trained police. West Midlands Police on the 11th of August increased patrols in the local area on Soho Road to assure the public, and when I attended the scene there was a large police cordon from Woodburn Road and Ann Road and across Foundry Road that led into Handsworth. On Tuesday, August the 12th, 3 men aged 29, 31 and 38 were arrested on suspicion of Shara's murder. They were detained and held in custody, and Detective Chief Inspector Alistair Arenkus from the West Midlands Homicide Unit said the arrests were a significant progress in the investigation, but more investigations were underway. On Wednesday, August the 13th, police charged a man, 31-year-old Tanveer Singh from West Brom. He was charged with Shara's murder, and the other 2 men were released without further action. Singh was remanded in custody to appear at Wolverhampton Magistrates Court the day after, and police continue to appeal for witnesses in relation to who sins Shara in the hours that led up to her murder. No pleas were entered when Tanveer Singh entered the Magistrates Court on the 14th of August. He just said his name and address. Singh appeared on the 15th of August at Birmingham Crown Court for a preliminary hearing with Justice Simon Drew Casey. He was again only required to confirm his name and no plea was entered. The court set a date for Singh to enter a guilty plea or not guilty plea on September the 12th, 2025. So this story developed very fast and the arrests and charges also followed. Now we're going to have to wait for the trial and also what his plea is, whether he goes guilty or not guilty on September the 12th. We're definitely going to follow that story and definitely keep you updated. And my condolences to the family of Shara Miller. And please don't forget to send your stories to Scarcity Studios and get in touch with us if you see any crime scene in your local area. In this next story, I attended a murder in Hockley on the 15th of August. Police were called at just gone at 5:15 in the afternoon. West Midlands Police responded to reports of a stabbing at a residential property on South Road, Hockley. Upon arrival, officers discovered a male in his 30s who suffered fatal stab wounds. Despite their best efforts, he was dead at the scene. The loss of life in such a violent manner sent shockwaves through the area, and locals had said how scared they were. The police quickly launched a murder investigation and cordoned off 2 terraced homes on South Road to preserve the crime scene. Forensic teams and detectives worked throughout the night, combing the area for evidence and reviewing CCTV footage to piece together the events that led to the tragedy. Following this, a 40-year-old man was arrested at the scene on suspicion of murder, and by August the 17th, the suspect, who was identified as Ernest Vasca, 34 years old, also from South Road, was formally charged with the murder of the unnamed victim. Vasca was remanded in custody to appear at Birmingham Magistrates Court on Monday, August the 18th. The victim's family have not even been confirmed yet, which is very strange. So this story is very interesting, and also the fact they haven't identified the victim and they've said that they haven't contacted the family. So this leaves a very big question as to who the victim was. Why is it so difficult to identify him? We're definitely going to follow this story and we're definitely going to update you on anything to do with the identity of the victim and the trial that follows in relation to the murder. The next scene that I attended was on August the 17th, where a body was discovered following a significant fire at a disused warehouse in Bar Street, Hockley, near Ladywood. Emergency services were called to the scene at 8 a.m. and there was reports of a blaze in the 3-storey building, and West Midlands Fire Service deployed 12 units and had 60 firefighters firefighters tackled the blaze. During the operation, a man's body was found, and it was confirmed by West Midlands police. The cause of the fire and circumstances surrounding his death are being investigated, with police and fire services working jointly to determine the details. The identity of the victim has yet to be formally released, and authorities have urged anyone with information to contact the police. And when I attended the scene, there was still a police cordon in place, and even 5 days later there was police officers in the area, and they'd also dug up the road as well, which is symbolic of them changing the electrics or something to do with the gas. And I believe that this is usually connected to cannabis factories, so this is really a developing story, and we're yet to know 100% the possibility that this may have been cannabis related. For this next story, we need to go to Worcester, where on Monday the 25th of August 2025, a community was left shaken and a police investigation was launched after 3 children and a mother were rescued from an apartment on the top floor of a flat block at 11 a.m. Authorities were appealing for witnesses and a suspect was seen nearby. According to West Mercia Police, emergency services swiftly responded to reports of the fire, and the firefighters successfully evacuated the occupants and assessed them for smoke inhalation. The incident is being treated as arson, with police seeking information about a person described as wearing all black and black face coverings seen near the address shortly before the fire. No arrests have been made yet, and officers are using residents' CCTV and doorbell footage to try to build up a picture of who is responsible for the arson that occurred in Brookthorpe Close in the Warren area of the city. The fire drew a large emergency service response, 4 fire engines attended, and witnesses praised Hereford and Worcestershire's fire service, with one stating they are legendary and it would have been a catastrophe without them. So thankfully nobody was seriously injured, and we'll definitely keep you updated on any arrests and trial that follow from this story. And finally, only yesterday, 3 men were arrested and a teenage boy after weapons were found inside a vehicle, after reports that a man was threatened on Fountain Road in Cosley at around 5:20 p.m. Following quick-time reports from the officers and responses, they stopped the car on the junction of Millfields Road and Cosley Road just before 6 p.m, and they arrested 4 people. A hammer and an axe and also a baseball bat, as I filmed at the time, was recovered during the search, and a vehicle was also seized. They were arrested on suspicion of a fray and remain in custody as investigations continue. So this is a brief roundup of some stories from Birmingham, and please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll be back later on with some news from London and some other stories from around the UK.